One of the secrets of gardening that old-timers like myself should probably do a better job with, and that's explaining the merits of fall planting. And unlike springtime, when the soil is cold after the winter time, the soil at this time of year is really lovely and warm and just perfect for getting quick root growth. Add to that the fact that the weather at this time of year is really lovely to be working outdoors. There's less weeds and pests and diseases to worry about, and that the plants are really much easier to look after because once they establish that root system, they need less watering and mollycoddling. And it's a great time to get your plants too. The garden centres aren't nearly as busy in the fall as they are in the hectic days of spring, so the experts there will be able to help and guide you to select the ones that are right for your individual circumstances. Now I'm planting this relatively new form of arborvitae. It's called Thuja plicata goldie, or sometimes known as Thuja forever goldie. What's neat about this plant is that it's nice and compact, has these bright golden leaves, and while it's normally grown in a sunny location and perfect for putting in either as a single specimen or using as a screen or a large hedge, here I'm trying it out in a partly shaded site where I think it will be very nice during the winter time to provide both structure and colour. And the other neat things about western red cedar varieties is that once they get established, they display a really good level of drought tolerance. And at least in our experience, they're not normally bothered too much by deer browsing. Two factors that I'm definitely going to be testing out in this rather challenging location. And when it comes to planting them, it could hardly be easier. Let me show you how. The first thing to do is to dig a good big sized hole, at least one that's twice as big as the size of the pot or the root ball. And then just position the plant in the middle of the hole, making sure that it's going to fit, and we've tested that. And then the next thing to do is to add in some planting compost or soil conditioner. Now this is very important and very, very worth investing money in, because this is the stuff that roots love to grow in. Now as you see, what I'm doing is putting some of it in the bottom of the hole and also then mixing in some into the backfilled soil. Then just mix it up a little in the base of the hole with the soil that's in there, and then you're ready to put your plant in. Now you can, if you want, put in some fertilizer, but with fall planting it's really not quite so important because the compost that the plants are grown in at the nursery already has slow release fertilizer in there, so they've probably got all the nutrient they need. Besides that, there's some that comes from the soil conditioner as well. So position the plant in the center of the hole, making sure that the top of the root ball is just a little lower than the surrounding soil. And then when you're happy and content that that's in the right location, you can backfill some of the soil around the root ball, just straightening up and making sure that it stays in the middle, and just backfill the soil and the soil conditioner, and that then will fill in round the root ball, and you can gently firm it in with your feet as you go, testing the level that it's going to be about right, and that looks lovely. And then we just backfill the rest of it. Just backfill all the soil, putting it around and making sure that the root ball is nicely bedded in there so that the roots are ready to grow. Then finally just firm it up a little bit with your feet. Make sure that you've left a little depression, because this reservoir is going to be the place that we put now water, so that the plant gets a really good watering to start off. And that needs to be a long slow soak so that it gets down to the root ball and fills down into the base of it. Now, talking about watering leads me to mention that perhaps if your soil is a little on the heavier side with a higher clay content, maybe it might be wiser for you to set them a little higher. Here on this site, my soil is really gritty and gravelly, very free draining, and can get quite dry during the summer months. And that's why I set mine a little lower, a little deeper. But if you've got a soil that's perhaps on the heavier side, you could plant them at about the same level as the surrounding soil, or perhaps even set them up a little higher, creating a planting mound, and then you'll be sure that you don't have to worry about the correct planting depth. So take a look at your soil, examine it, and if it's free draining, do like I'm doing and set them a little deeper. But if you're in doubt, perhaps it might be wiser just to put them in at about the same soil level, or perhaps even a little proud of the surrounding soil. So take your time and just let that water bubble down into the bottom of the root ball, and you'll find that in no time at all the roots will grow into the new soil. The plant will make a lovely, good, big, strong root system, and then next spring when it grows out, it's going to get off to the perfect start. So that's how easy it is. But there's one more job that you need to do, and that's labeling your plant. For on these Garden Splendor plants comes a very special thing called a Remember Me marker. It comes attached to the tag, and all you have to do is with a pair of pruners just snip off the top of the tag, and you'll find that this anodized aluminum permanent marker with the name of the plant is there, so that all you have to do is to then take that and put it in at the base of the plant, and you'll remember what the name of the plant was, and in the case of a perennial, you'll know where it was planted. This is David Wilson and Meg saying, enjoy your gardening. It's good for us, and it's very good for our environment too.
Garden splendor, the plants worth remembering.